where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. Let my country awake.
The state of Odisha has a total number of 62 tribals, and purely in terms of percentage, the indigenous tribals form 24% of the entire state's population. Blessed with abundant natural resources, Odisha, like other states, is clearly on a march towards urbanization and industrialization. The old way of life giving way to the modern, and thereby boosting investments and enhancing the standard of life of citizens of the state.
Tribals are very peaceful people. They live with the nature. They live with the forest. They live with entire things, with the natural things. All these things are changing, and all these things are deteriorating very fast. And these tribals have no education, no amenities, no lifestyle, nothing else. When these problems are going on at the same time, industrialization takes place very fast, and people destroying particularly forests. So now their main challenge where they should go, how they will live, how they will have the decent life, when the rest of the world are trying for the decent life, and these peoples are going from bad to worse.
Wealth is concerned, those areas are rich, but the tribals are poor, and their major problem is education and skill development, poverty. They are not the part of the mainstream of development of the state. Because of the historical reasons, they are far behind than the coastal people. But Dr. Samanta, he brought those deprived section of the children from the poorer sections of the tribals to his institute, that Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences.
Dr. Achyuta Samanta has been at the forefront of one of the most unique initiatives formed to provide upliftment to the tribals and the economically downtrodden, tap into their potential and transform them into productive citizens. The Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences provides top-quality education for the tribals. It is a place where no expense has been spared in terms of equipment, facility and personnel. And the most amazing thing of all is that education is provided free. And it all began with an investment of just 5,000 rupees.
When I started this venture with only $100 or 5,000 rupees, I have never thought of that this venture will come to this position so quickly, so nicely. But coming up to this position is a very Herculean task. That when we started in 91-92, both the organization, Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, at present it is a very promising professional university with 25,000 students, and Kalinga Institute of Social Science, which has also started. Now it has become the beauty of the entire world with 25,000 poorest of the poor indigenous children. Both the organizations started with 5,000 rupees in 2 rented house.
Dr. Samanta started a Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences for the tribal children with the objective of giving them free education, free accommodation, free food, and also make them employable after their education. Today, it started with 125 students only. Today, in this campus alone, there are 25,000 tribal children getting their education. They are from the poorest of the poor or from the below poverty line. Those who don't get 2 square meals a day in their homes, those who do not have 2 pairs of dress in their home. But Dr. Samanta has brought them from different parts, he scouts and brings them from different parts of the state and from the neighboring states also.
Dr. Achyuta, he's a visionary and he's changed the lives of thousands of children from the most remote parts of the state. When I look back our partnership with the Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, it was in 2010 when we started this life skills education program. And what I was very much impressed about the institute is they just did not focus on academic performance of children. These children, they are coming from the most vulnerable pockets of the state with hardly any opportunities even for their survival. So it's from those communities children are being brought and then they've been provided with education. So what Dr. Samanta is looking at is just not academic performance but a holistic approach, a 360-degree approach in which they provided opportunities for sports, creative activities within their academic life, vocational training, plus also life skills education.
Kalinga Institute of Social Science business model is considered to be one of the most unique model. And to study this model, to understand this model, people from different parts of the world, from UN agencies, from the bank, from the ADB, they come to our institute to understand and to study this, how such a large institute being funded or being supported. And largely I must say that the Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences is mostly dependent on the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technologies financial support rather than any foundations, donors or charitable institutions. 5% of the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technologies university's turnover comes to Kalinga Institute of Social Science for its recurring and non-recurring expenses. Then we have all the staffs who contribute voluntarily 3% of their salary for running of the Kalinga Institute of Social Sciences, which is also pretty unique and doesn't happen in any institution in the world. We have 10,000 staffs voluntarily support 3% of the gross salary is a big thing.
Dr. Samanta's work is a clear demonstration of how a single individual can play a critical role in transforming society. His life has provided inspiration to many, and yet when you look at his past, it is nothing short of a miracle. Tragedy struck when he was still very young. His father died when he was just 4, leaving his family impoverished. It was left to his widowed mother to take care of him and his siblings. But even at that young age, he felt the need to help his family by doing odd jobs.
As my father was a very petty worker, a very poor man, he had not left anything for all the 8 members' family. Imagine this situation we would have faced in those days in one remote village without anything in the hands. And we had to overcome everything, doing work here and there, every member, all these things. My mother had to also take lot of odd jobs, working here and there, all these things. So it was always in my mind to do something for the poor people in the society, as I had experienced or I had gone through all these things, what is real poverty and what poverty generally kills everything. So only it was in my mind to do something good to the society, and I started with a very small thing. But God is very kind to me or great to me. He has fulfilled all dreams.
Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. My Father, let my country awake.
Dr. Samanta's life is also clear evidence of how it only takes one person to change the world. One person to make an impact. One person to give a helping hand and to emerge as an agent of change. Dr. Samanta has been that person, and because he took that step, the lives of those around him have been changed for the better forever.
Such type of prestigious award would have been conferred on me. I am grateful to Almighty again, and I am grateful to the jury members and also the King and Prime Minister of Bahrain for considering my candidature. And this award is very prestigious, very good, because whatever awards I have got till today, it is the most prestigious and very preferred award. So definitely it will be within my heart till my death.